Ja, okay, wir waren am Anfang vom März. Gut, denn er hat mit den 2 Monaten, was er meinte, ist, dann passt schon besser. Premier Army Base Dragon's Bridge. Military Police High-Speed Terrain Crusader. Fahren wir dann von Celtic und Dresden.
お疲れ、バリマール。窮屈だっただろう。
気にすることはない。このまま休止状態で彼らに身を任せるとしよう。
ああ、そうして。それではお願いします。
Sure thing. We'll take good care of him. By the way, it's a real honor to be entrusted with the famous astronaut.
リーンさん、お疲れ様でした。
大したことはしていません。すべてはバリマールの力と。あなたたちの狙いが功を奏しただけでしょう。
怒っていますよね。私たちのやり方に。
別に内戦が迅速に終結したのは良かったと思っています。クロスベルの件についても俺が口を出せることじゃない。ですがルーファスさんがあなたたちの筆頭だったのは真実知らなかったとして、俺の父親については本当に知らなかったんですか？
うすうす気づいていました。どこか雰囲気や顔立ちが似ているというか、閣下も意外なほど7組に興味を示されていましたから。
そうですか。それでは失礼します。
別にそれだけが理由で気にかけていたわけじゃなんて言えませんよね。
Ich kann aber verstehen, warum Rini dich kalte Schulter gibt. Ne? Es ist halt auch nicht verwunderlich.
バカか、俺は。一月ぶりか。
Aber man muss schon sagen, ne, man kann mit dem Ending von Cold Steel 2 halt nicht happy sein, ne?
雪は降らなかったみたいだけど。 あの時の紅葉が残っていないわけじゃない。でもなんでこんなに肌寒いんだ。え、
Cherry Blossom Season.
あ、ライノの花。
おかえりなさい、リーン。
あ、
おかえり、リーン。
何をぼーっとしてるんだ。
咲きかけのつぼみを見て柄でもなく浸っていたか。
みんな
ちょうど昨日くらいにつぼみをつけ始めたんです。
1週間くらいでぼちぼち咲き始めるって。気が早いのもいるみたいだけど。
そっか。ただいま、みんな。
うん。よくぞ帰ってきた。
本当にお疲れ様だったな。
いや、それほど大変じゃなかったよ。教官、先輩たちもわざわざ俺のために。
おかえりなさい、リーンくん。
この時期2年は授業もほぼなくなっているからね。
バリマールの件もあるし、せっかくだと思ってさ。
1年は授業中だけど特別に実習扱いにしたわ。どこぞの大尉さんが君の到着時間をご丁寧に連絡してきたしね。
そうですか。セリーヌも迎えに来てくれたんだな。
ついでよ、ついで。あんな顔して出発するからちょっと気になったというか。って今の話。
Ja, ja, sind wir immer voll zu drüber.
みんな、ありがとう。
どうする？今日はもう寮で休む？
それなら荷物を運ばせてもらうぞ。
いや、授業中なら俺も出るよ。1ヶ月の遅れをなんとか取り戻したいしな。
今日はこのままお疲れ様会になだれ込もうと思ったのに。
Sarah, du bist die Lehrerin. Kleiner Reminder.
ソロ、ナイスアイデア。レッツパーティーだね。
真面目にやりたまえ。
それは夜ということで。
ならば学院に戻るとしようか。
リーン、おかえり。
あ、ただいま、フィー。
Epilog, The Wonders End. Und so nehme ich auch dann damit das erste Schuljahr von denen.
今でも覚えている。
Das kommt nämlich auch noch.
俺たちが過ごした最後の日々。宝石のようにきらめいていた季節を惜しむように、愛おしむように、そして等しく奪われるように、俺たちの時は流れ続けていた。あの後、高魔女、変異したバルフレイム球は夢でも見ていたかのように元に戻った。人々の記憶が曖昧になったこともあり、今では集団幻覚の一種として片付けようとする風潮すらあった。 それもあの二人が導いた激動の日々が原因かもしれない。共和国がクロスベルを占領し侵攻してくるのではないかという帝国人全体に共通する危機感。それを煽ることでルーファス教はわずかな期間で貴族勢力を説き伏せ、宰相への全面協力を表明し、アクル七葉暦1205年、正規軍と両方軍の総力を結集したクロスベル侵攻が行われたのである。
Nicht mal einen Monat gedauert.
ガレリア要塞を消滅させたという超常兵器はすでに失われており、わずか1日でクロスベル市は帝国軍によって無血占領された。間髪を入れずに共和国も反応し空挺機甲師団を投入するが、主力戦車と機甲兵を組み合わせたルーファス総司令の戦術によってあえなく撃退されることになる。そして俺とバリマールはあの言葉通り帝都解放の立役者に祭り上げられ、クロスベル戦線への協力要請に従い2月には現地入りした。そして機甲兵部隊を率い何度か共和国軍を撃退するうちに、いつの間にか灰色の騎士という名前で呼ばれるようになっていた。そして3月中旬、トールズ士官学院7組最後の日々。
近代までの流れはここまでにしておきましょう。来週からは現代、50年前の動力革命から今日までの流れに入ります。かなり駆け足になってしまうので、できれば予習しておいてください。エマさん、マキアス君、サポートしてあげてくださいね。
はい、そのつもりです。
任せてください。いい参考書もありますし。
そうしてくれると助かるな。
めんどくさいけど仕方ないか。
俺も動力革命については少々知らないことも多いな。
技術史についてだったら私もサポートできると思うわ。
動力革命か。あのシュミットじいちゃんの名前も出てくるんだよね。
まあ一応動力革命の父エプスタイン博士の3皇帝の一人だからね。
Interessant, dass wir über eine Person in Geschichtsunterricht haben, mit der sie schon zusammen zu tun hatten.
あの偏屈な老人の名前が教本に載っているとはな。
Ganz genau das. Genau das ist das, worauf ich hinaus wollte.
そう考えるとすごいよな。
言った通り、来週はおさらいの小テストをする。範囲は2次関数に因数分解、集合、論理、確率ってところだ。
Quadratic Functions, okay. Factorization, ja, ist okay. Sets weiß ich gerade gar nicht, worauf das im Englischen genau spezifisch hinausgeht. Logik ist easy. Probability ist eigentlich auch nicht schwer.
おっと、微積分の触りも入れるから、わかるやつは備えておけ。
飛ばしますね。
憂鬱だな。
意味不明。呪文みたい。
一応今までに習った範囲なんだが。
基本的な公式だけでもおさらいしておきましょう。
That sums up this lecture on the structure of the stock market in Arabia. Schon so wieder nicht geheißt ist. Next week we will hurry on and study unemployment and inflation problems. You're also going to be taking part in the debate on those issues, so make sure each of you are well prepared.
ディベート？
肯定否定の二手に分かれて議論を戦わせる討論形式ね。
Es gibt gerade auch einen ganz bestimmten Grund, warum es uns gezeigt wird, wie hart sie gerade sozusagen am Lernen sind. How much consideration I've decided we will use our remaining time to listen to and enjoy music from all manners of genres. From famous classics to popular modern music, we've got records of all kinds for you to enjoy. Even to borrow music from a hard new genre like heaving metal? Maybe if it's called heavy metal? I don't know what that sounds like.
お疲れ様。他の教官たちも気合が入ってたみたいだからさぞ大変だったんじゃない？
正直クタクタ。
強行軍だったもんね。
だがこれも我らが選んだ道。
詰め込んでもらえるならありがたいというものだ。
独学でも伸ばせるよう配慮していただいていますし。
そうね、教官たちには感謝しないと。
君には少し迷惑をかけてしまうが。
そっか、同じところをもう一度やるんだよね。
Das haben wir vorbereitet.
構わないのか。
構うも何もむしろありがたいくらいさ。これだけ入念に予習をしたら2年の中間試験でトップを取るのも夢じゃないかもな。
リー、強気だね。
リーンさんならきっとできますよ。
去年の中間試験でも7位だったもんね。
さすがに調子に乗りすぎか。
いや、そんなことはないだろう。
せいぜい期待しておくか。
さて、明日は久々の自由行動日になるわ。
Wir kriegen mal wieder nochmal einen Free Day.
授業も大詰めだけど、部活や趣味も大切にしなさい。いい天気になるみたいだし、デートってのもいいんじゃない？
あのですね。
教官の立場でそういうのを勧めるのはどうかと。
そういうセリフはまず自分が相手を見つけてから言うべきだと思うが。
失礼ね。私だっていい相手の一人や二人。
I mean, maybe. Ich würde schon wie innerhalb von einem Jahr, wie krass gebondet die ganzen Charakter haben. Also.
その割には一人酒が多いような。
まあ、それ以上は触れないのが礼儀だろう。
ラウラのお父さんとか、サラは高望みしすぎ。
悪くないとは思うが、縁遠そうでもあるな。見てなさいよ。残り半月で素敵なおじさまをゲットしてやるんだから。
Ich finde es auch interessant, weil theoretisch halt auch wie eine Romance-Option sein könnte.
早いよね。もう自由行動日か。
ええ、もう少し先のようなつもりでいたけど。
Und ja, für die, die es nicht rausgehört haben, Klasse 7 versucht gerade, ihre ganze ja, den ganzen Lehrplan vom 2. Jahr innerhalb eines Monats durchzudrücken. Selbst nachdem sie schon ein bisschen was von dem Lehrplan verpasst haben, weil ja ein Bürgerkrieg dazwischen war. Und ja, alle haben vor, abgesehen von Rien, schon nach dem Ende des 1. Jahres von der Schule erfolgreich den Abschluss zu machen.
俺はかなり久しぶりだな。
そうだったな。君の方は向こうでちょっとは休めたのか？
いや、基本的には作戦行動が続いていたからな。クロスベル市で息抜きには連れて行かれたけど、さすがに居心地は悪かった。
そうですか。
無理もあるまい。
クロスベルの民にとって帝国人は侵略者も同然か。
レクターなんか平気で楽しんでそうだけど。
I mean, es ist auch Lecter.
カジノとか一度連れて行かされたよ。なんかありえないくらい勝ちまくってたけど。
いかにもそれっぽい。
Wahrscheinlich im Casino, wo Randy seinen Vertrauten hat.
ギャンブルか。好きな人は好きよね。
いずれにせよ、最後の自由行動日だ。お互い悔いのないよう明日は過ごすとしよ
う。Wir werden actually eine Einladung kriegen.
そうだな。少し迷ってしまいそうだが。
当然部活には出たいけど、それ以外にもしたいことがあるし。調理部の試食に学食とキルシェの新メニューに。
まったく小狸にでもなるつもりか。
10,000?
リンさんはやっぱりトワ会長のお手伝いですか？
ああ、生徒会の引き継ぎは今日終わるみたいだけど、手伝うことはあるだろうし、無理やりでも引き受けるさ。
そうか。
リーンらしいというか。
困ったことがあったら遠慮なく呼んでちょうだいね。
Well, I guess I better get going. Got scheduled to the student council room, but it's my first time back in over months. It would be nice to take a walk. Maybe I should go and see how Valimar is doing too. What's up? What are you going to water the flowers?
後でいい。今はこっちの方に水をあげたいから。
Thanks. You're a sweet girl, you know that.
私がこうしたかっただけ。この暖かさとももうすぐだから。
You really are those as can be when we're alone together. I like the rest of the time.
バカ。
Ja, es sind halt noch so kleine Special Romance Cutscenes. It wasn't for long, but the two of them were happy simply passing the time together. When the time came to part ways, they said their goodbyes just outside the classroom. Classes are now over for the day, and you can walk around the academy grounds freely after visiting the buildings accessible through the engineering building and speaking to the tower in the student council room. The story will advance. Wir haben aber noch ein paar Kleinigkeiten, die wir jetzt machen können. Wir haben einiges an Character Notes, die wir noch machen können. Dann gehen wir mal zu Floor 2, dem Music Room müsste... Hier sein. Wir nehmen einmal mit. We had to pick a new head for the Window store a while back, so obviously I put my name forward. But I voted for Bridgie. She didn't even volunteer to be a candidate in the first place. I really wanted it too. I wonder why nobody voted it for me. What a mystery. Weil du eine Apokalypse die noch passieren wird, bist. Das ist einfach eine laufende Katastrophe. I decided to join a military band in the Imperial Army after I graduate. I want a career that gives me the chance to show people the strength of music, and where better to show strength than in the military. Let me put the skills I've picked up to the academy to use too. Ja, wir kriegen gerade also ein bisschen so was sich so die anderen gerade so ein bisschen wünschen. I wonder how Alan did against Patrick today. Hopefully well, after that energizing lunch I made for him. I guess trying to support your significant other in every way possible is just part of being in love. Hope you find the time to spend with someone you care about today too, Ring. Thanks, I'll try. So... Und dann haben wir noch Nicholas. I received a job offer from the Zamurian Railroad Corporation, so that's where I will be working after graduation. They're going to be introducing something called a buffet card to certain trains, apparently, and they want my help with it. I certainly don't see myself working for a train company, but traveling the country concocting new dishes sounds like a dream. It'll give me a chance to see how this nation is shifting from a variety of places too. This is actually working so nice. Vivi und... Nö, Vivi und so haben keine Character Note. Okay. Extenuating circumstances have led me to opening an exhibition in Heimdall. More specifically, our club advisor took the liberty of showing off the pieces I made during the war to everyone she could. Now I've got people saying that they want to become my sponsors or some garbage like that. None of that matters to me. I just wish they would shut up and let me work. Da. Ich hab's gesucht. Yeah, I would have thought you'd be back in your dormitory by now to get everything in order for tomorrow. Now that you're here, however, there is one thing I would like to ask you. How fares are Cielo and Crossbow? You should know after your recent venture. Can't say, I'm afraid. I didn't really get a chance to see what they're up to. I wish I could have, though. Maybe next time. Yeah, reasonable. I was just worried as to Risha Mao's well-being. There have been rumors of late that the group's star performer has been gravely injured and is in the process of recovery. It's been worried that the absence may be placing additional stress on Risha. I forget I said anything. You wouldn't think you were such a devoted fan just looking at him. I wonder how he'd react if I told him that I think I actually ran into her and fought her too. Actually, I probably shouldn't tell him about the whole fighting thing, and I can hardly believe it happened myself. Oh, it isn't Ring Schwarzer. Allow me to give you my belated congratulations on your incredible work of Wing Crossbow, though it does break my heart that such a heavy burden should fall to a student such as yourself. Don't be bad, sir. I was the one who chose to accept the cross-spelling government's request, after all. Besides, it wouldn't do me any good to run away from this. The role I've been given is difficult, but I will see it through to the end. Ended up meeting some interesting people over there too. I have no regrets. I shall only say one more thing. I'm sure your days ahead will be full of hardships. Be sure not to lose sight of yourself as you face them. This is all the advice I can give you. Thank you, sir. General Hendek was my superior back when I was in the army. As such, I'm planning on granting you a bit of additional assistance. Something wrong, Schwarzer? No, sir, not at all. I wouldn't be surprised if Principal Hendek knew something. But now's not the time to start asking. Oh. Down to the rooftop. It's nearly time for me to bow out of my academic career. Have the preparations been made for my return to my family's lands, Arifa? Of course, everything is arranged for you to start managing them from the moment you arrive. I've also finished networking with all of the other second years so that you may remain in contact with them. Ah, splendid. All's well then. With the Empire as it stands, it is more imperative than ever that we fresh young graduates stay connected. And what better contact for maintaining those connections than Vincent Floral, noble and patriot? Can feel the inspiration from here, Mr. Vincent. Do you know how tough it is to do these special lessons for you kids? Get more than enough on my hands with just one set of lessons, but you guys just have to have your own, didn't you? I'm sure it's a ton of work. Really can't thank you enough for doing all of this for us. Whatever. Yeah, my current workload's a headache, but I'm sure it will be upgraded to a migraine when next year rolls around. Do you know small part to the damn building over there? The one that's supposed to house Valimar and all of the soldiers? Imperial Army asked the Academy to build it, didn't they? Yeah, asked isn't really the right word though, and it's not the first time. They made us take those combat shells too. They even made me help with it since I worked on that Tachi. Just finished it up a few days before he came back from Grospel. Didn't know that. They haven't given us any soldiers to put in there yet, but it's probably just a matter of time. I bet they're gonna be as common on the battlefield as tanks soon enough. Yeah. It's kind of scary to think how much has changed in Erebonia already since the end of the war. This is probably only the beginning. Oh, that's life. Nothing stays the same forever. Just don't spend so much time worrying about the future that you forget about what's happening in your life right now. Basically, don't forget about the future of Erebonia when you've got your own shit to deal with. Like next week's test. Maybe sure to study extra hard for this one. Maybe I should drop by the building and pay Valimar a visit later though. Gut, dann Academy Field. I don't near as much to the Reading Club this year as I do to our class. My time at Force wouldn't have been nearly as interesting as if I hadn't joined. Consider myself lucky to have done so. I'm happy to hear that. Terrain, from what I understand, my brother owes you a lot for what you've done during your stay in Crossbell. I wouldn't say that. While I was there, I saw the extent of his political skill over and over again, and, well, I feel like I only now know just how much he's capable of. In both good ways and bad, I assume. I thought I knew him just like I thought I knew my father, but in the end, they were both strangers to me. Sorry, Juices. Enough about me. Just wish he could have seen his duty as one of the Academy's directors through to the end of the year, that's all. Paula? Been chosen as the next Riding Club captain. I can't help but feel like Juices would be the right person for the job though. Still, it's my responsibility now, so I'm gonna do an even better job than he would. Juices und damals nichts gar nicht mehr da. I have my heart set on joining the Imperial Cavalry after graduation. We live in rapidly changing times, but that only makes it more important for me to chart Erewhonia's path as both a noble and a soldier. Besides, this provides me an opportunity to put my force education to good use. The lessons I learned from the Civil War, too. Why did I come to this conclusion, you ask? I suppose about Juice's influence, and that of a dearly departed fellow second year. Then go to the gymnasium, Frieda and Ellen, alright. Looks like I'm finally able to go toe-to-toe with Patrick. I guess I've got all of Bridget's support over the year to thank for that. Well, there are my laurels to rest on. A good boyfriend aims higher to make sure that he can always keep his girlfriend safe. Instead of going home once I graduate, I plan on going on a little journey. I've weighed all of my options, and this one stood well above the rest. I'm curious to see how far my swordmanship can take me, so if nothing else, it should be a very interesting experiment. I decided to ask Loggins to join me as well, so let's see how he replies. So. Als Prinzip Bridge mit Taipei, Nicolas, Clara und Ferris und Teresa machen wir gleich noch. Die Infidel haben. Infidel kommt noch. Paula, Lambert. Ja, nee, passt. Gut. Species of planet have finally started to sprout. A while before we get to see any flowers though. So I might actually have the chance to raise those once myself, but it wasn't meant to be. No. Oh nee, bitte weg. Stimmt, das hat ja wohl auch die Feed, das hat ja wohl das Feed Coloring. Oh.
Ja, Link.
Oh, und Jelly hat schon ein zweites neues Bike.
今日の授業は終わりかい?
Yep, just got out. Wait, is that?
ああ、暗用の新しい動力バイクさ。
改めて君用にと思ったが、もう思い入れもあるだろうし、こっちを私が使おうと思ってね。
I don't feel bad considering I pretty much did just that to you. The new one's got a pretty cool design though.
基本的なスペックは君のやつと変わらないけどね。暗用のチューニングとロングツーリング用の装備を追加するつもりさ。
But distance riding would mean you're planning on going off on some big journey, aren't you?
ああ、モラトリアムってやつさ。私の武術の先生もそうだったが、いろいろなものを見てみたくてね。とりあえずゼムリア大陸を一周してみようと思っている。
That's not a very specific plan, and a pretty sizable journey. Und auch eine gute Journey, um vielleicht Connections zu machen.
まったく行動力がありすぎるっていうか。
そういう君こそ人の名だたる技術工房巡りなんて武者修行もいいところじゃないか。
そうかな。
I tell you, you were leaving Arbonia for a while too, George.
ああ、まずはリベールの ZCF に行ってみるつもりさ。
Ein gutes Ziel.
その後はレマン自治州にあるエプスタイン財団本部。できればカルバードのベルヌ社も訪ねてみたいかな。
Will you be able to get into Karat at this point?
情勢的には相当厳しそうだが、なんとかコネが使えそうでね。技術屋として僕なりにこの状況をどう改善できるか。各国の技術者と交流しながら見極めていきたいんだ。
You fought that for it. That's really admirable. I hope you can find a way to make that happen. Even though I feel kind of hypocritical saying that as someone who participated in the war.
リン君、頭を上げてくれ。
君が恥じる必要など何一つないさ。宰相殿が誘導した以上、クロスベルの件はああいう形で一旦収める以外の方法はなかった。戦争を長引かせないためにも力を示す必要があったんだろう。
But
あのまま戦争が長期化すれば、クロスベルの地そのものが戦火に巻き込まれていただろうね。そうなれば罪もない市民がたくさん犠牲になっていたに違いない。その意味で君が果たした役割はすごく大きかったと思うよ。
Irgendwie damit haben sie einen Punkt, ja. Es hätte durchaus schlimmer ausgehen können.
罪悪感を感じるなとは言わない。それは君自身が向き合うものだろうから。ただ私たちやとは、もちろん君の仲間たちも君のことを理解していることだけはどうか忘れないでくれ。
Sometimes I wonder how I was lucky enough to get such good ones. Thanks, you guys. This really helps.
せっかくだから彼の様子も見てきたらどうだい？必要な設備も揃ったし、快適でいてくれるといいんだが。
I think I will. Not to discredit your cousin's efforts or anything, but he seems fine no matter where I leave him. True.
さすがに大物だね。後で私も挨拶させてもらおうかな。
Night solar storage area. Hey Emma, how are you holding up?
おおむね快適だ。自己修復があるとはいえ、ここで整備が受けられれば稼働効率の向上も見込めよう。
Glad to hear it. It's going to be our new home base for the time being, so you can get it in as much maintenance as you need. I'm gonna need you a lot in the days ahead, Valimar.
頼まれよ。いや、何かが反応した気がしたが、どうやら気のせいだったようだ。
You really are getting to be scared of human these days, you know. What was your sense, though, Robert?
不明。だが、単なる地脈の揺らぎの可能性が高い。
Ich weiß, was er gespürt hat.
そこまで珍しくはなかろう。
Well, if you don't think it's anything worth worrying about, I'll try to put it out of my mind. Or we will be worrying about it tomorrow. If you sense anything strange in the future, though, let me know, okay? You can tell me, telepathically was the word, right?
皇帝、何かあれば知らせよう。
Ja, wir doch die Reverie Corridor. Das ist das, was Valimar gerade gespürt hat. So. Hier drinnen kann man jetzt die Imperial Chronicles 7 sich noch gönnen. Können wir sich auch noch Waffen gönnen, aber ja. Und wir haben die Gospel Time Special gar nicht gelesen. Ich weiß nicht, wann es kommt, aber wir lesen es mal durch, weil es hier gerade als nächstes drin ist. The Crossbill News Service Special Issue. Crossbill's autonomy is no more. Today on this 4th of January 1205, Henry McDowell, provisional mayor of Crossbill and acting representative of the state government, signed an agreement ceding ownership of Crossbill to the Erebonian Empire, bringing Crossbill State's 70-year history to an abrupt end. Provisional Mayor McDowell was visibly shaken and teary-eyed as he emerged from the signing. When pressed for comment, he simply stated, "I've never felt such shame," before exiting the room. Shortly after, Crossbill's Diet also proclaimed its dissolution, and Crossbill's far and right could be seen offering silent prayers of mourning to the country's autonomy. For its part, the imperial government vows to protect the safety of Crossbill's people, and it has established a new government which will govern the territory from here on. Analysis: were Erebonian's actions justified? In light of recent events, this question is likely on the lips of every Crossbillian citizen. We at the Crossbill Times have attempted to chronicle the events that led us here and provide you, dear readers, with an answer. First, Crossbill's action. In October 1204, the then mayor of Crossbill, Dieter Kra, illegally manipulated public opinion to gain support for the establishment of the independent state of Crossbill. At the time, in an attempt to force other nations to recognize the legitimacy of his power play, the International Bank of Crossbill threw all of its international assets. Second, the Empire's response. The Ereborian Empire strongly condemned those actions and insisting that Crossbill had long been Ereborian territory, mounted an armed invasion of the state. This culminated in Ereborian's attempt to fire upon Crossbill City with its railway guns. Third, Crossbill reaction. President Dieter Kra took action using a newly developed weapon to prevent the railway guns from damaging the city and destroyed Garella fortress to also prevent them from being fired again. Fourth, Chaos Crossbill. Shortly after President Kra's legitimacy was called into question and he was taken into custody by the police, his arrest brought the chaos in Crossbill to an end. After taking up the mayoral seat on a provisional basis, Mayor McDowell revealed to the public the truth of what had occurred and set about rebuilding the state government. At this point, however, the Ereborian Empire launched a second invasion, which ultimately led to the annexation of Crossbill. It cannot be denied that Crossbill's actions sparked the conflict with Erebonia, nor can it be questioned that our nation's forces attacked the Imperial Army. However, the Empire's response to those aggressions, including the attempted firing of the railway guns, which could have taken the lives of countless innocent civilians, cannot be considered anything less than excessive. Furthermore, Crossbill took responsibility for the arrest of its former president Dieter Kra, as well as rejected its declaration of independence. While we freely admit our nation's wrongdoing, it is very hard to argue that the Ereborian Empire's invasion, occupation, and annexation of our nation was at all justified. Doubly so in light of the nation's attempt to put things right. The Ereborian Empire continues to insist that Crossbill was its territory from the beginning, and that their occupation was merely to protect us from the Republic of Calvert. However, given the way things have unfolded, that explanation rings hollow to many cross-balance. Was sehr verständlich ist. Just who owns Crossbill and how should it be run? These are questions we will have to ask ourselves anew in the days to come. Tensions remain at Tancram Gate. Ever since the Republic of Calvert declared Crossbill's annexation by Erebonia invalid, Tancram Gate, situated on our eastern border, has been a hotbed of violence and political unrest. The Calvardian attempts at invasion have been repeatedly staved off by the Imperial Army's armored divisions stationed at the gate, but they showed no signs of stopping. These large-scale battles have filled the hearts of the Crossbillian public with fear, but spokesmen for the Imperial Army have urged people to remain calm. The army vows to deploy its most powerful weapon, the Ashen Knight, alongside its Panzersoldaten in order to bring the conflict to a swift and decisive end. Letter from the editors. Under this wintry sky. On this icy January day, we have become citizens of the Imperial territory of Crossbill. It's not a change that's come about uncontested, and it's one that's sure to cause arguments for years to come. How could it not? Our new government will change life as we knew it significantly. While our nation may have lost its autonomy, as people we are unchanged. We are still people with free will, people who think and feel for themselves, people who can envision what we want for our future to be. No matter where the seat of power lies or who sits upon it, this is still our home. We will keep thinking, keep feeling, and keep dreaming for a better future, regardless of what lies in store for us. Was schöne Worte sind. Newsflash! Congratulations on Crossbill's annexation. Lord Rufus Arborea, best known as the man who led the Imperial forces which moved on Crossbill, became the first Governor-General of Crossbill during the ceremony held at Orcus Tower, which will henceforth be the territory's new center of government. Arborea swore to work towards a stable society and build a new government, one completely different from those that came before. His speech was met with cheering and thunderous applause. Universal rejoicing in Crossbill. There wasn't a frown to be seen in Crossbill City today. With its citizens unanimously overjoyed to be incorporated into the Ereborian Empire, it's like a dream come true, said one 23-year-old woman. Others were more reserved in their celebration, happy to join off the Empire but remorseful for Crossbill's actions. You must have caused the Ereborian people a lot of stress, lamented one self-employed man I spoke to. It seems the annexation has brought about a new era of self-awareness for the people of the newly declared territory. Working together with Erebonia, Crossbill has long prospered as a result of having one of the largest merchant cities on the continent, and its inclusion into the empire should only grant it greater prosperity. Wasting no time after returning to his position, Chancellor Osborne announced on the same day as the annexation that he would introduce new policies to support the territory's economic growth. Governor General Rufus Arborea looked more than happy to hear the news. The two capped off the meeting with an enthusiastic handshake to rapturous applause. The annexation of Crossbill is bound to bring about a bright future for the people of Livonia, and we here at the Imperial Chronicle are united in supporting its future development. Economy. Crossbill sparks economic turnaround. Since annexations of Crossbill, national economic indicators have been on the rise. There are several contributing factors, of course, including Imperial Governor Karl Ragnit's announcement that time dollar has returned to normalcy and large corporations like the Rainford Group resuming their exports, but many cite Crossbill as the turning point. Some analysts even argue that the pre-war economy has already been surpassed. Furthermore, the capital is likely to see a massive influx of tax revenue from Crossbill, which many economic analysts predict will lead to the unprecedented levels of prosperity. One economic pundit commented, with Crossbill under his wing, Livonia's economy is likely to reach greater heights than ever before. It wouldn't be hyperbole to call Livonia as it stands a superpower. Society. The Ashen Knight overwhelms the Republican army. Reachwater, the hero who brought the Civil War to an end, still has a few tricks up his sleeve, which he proved by single-handedly repelling the Republican army. The 18-year-old Mr. Schwarzer is a student at the prestigious Military Academy, as well as the only person capable of piloting the cutting-edge Ashen Knight. His achievements quickly drew the eye of the armed forces, and one high-ranking army staff member even says that they are considering giving him special treatment upon graduation to hasten his path to becoming a military officer. This young man's future seems exceptionally bright, but the military has been doing what it can to keep his light hidden. All information on him and his whereabouts is classified, and any interviews with him are strictly prohibited. Politics. Special meeting of the Provincial Council. Another meeting of the Provincial Council is planned for the end of this month. Marquis Rockner, Marquis Hyams, and Crossbill Governor General Lord Rufus Arborea are all set to attend. The meeting will deal with the aftermath of the war and the treatment of Duke Cayenne and Duke Arborea, both of whose questioning has now formally begun. The council has said they will also issue a statement regarding the ongoing confusion in orders, where a splinter group of the Nova Alliance's forces continues to enforce its rule. Many have taken this as a sign that they may bring the situation there to an end. Alive. Let's get a new year to a good start. 1204 had its share of ups and downs, but 1205 is finally here. The start of a new year is always a good chance to put the past behind us and start afresh. So here are a few tips for welcoming the new year in a positive way and work toward making it a good one. First, sort out your belongings. This is a great opportunity to throw away all the unneeded clutter building up around you. Don't forget to get some cleaning and either. Second, set at least one new goal for yourself to achieve in the year ahead. Having goals makes you feel more positive. Third, be sure to give back to the people who helped you last year. When you send them a card, it's sure to leave a positive impression. Unser Goal für nächstes Jahr wird es sein, bis Rarely durchzukommen. Damit wir in 2027 endlich in in Kanal reinkommen. Und ich auch dann endlich mal wieder blind unterwegs bin. Aber ich werde auch da wieder mit Guides spielen. Weil ich will wirklich alles so früh wie möglich halt sehen. Und wenn dann auch Second Playthrough Only Stuff dann auch noch dann damit reinkommt, werde ich da mal gucken, ob wir das irgendwie dann anders gelöst kriegen, dass wir das uns angucken. Wie halt zum Beispiel die Black Records, auf die wir auch gleich noch zurückkommen werden. Fourth, last but not least, be sure to get plenty of rest. Last year's Civil War took an exhausting toll on all of us, so much as that a large number of people in the capital claim to have witnessed a collective hallucination. Get those thoughts out of your head and start the year off healthy by sleeping well and sleeping often. So. Jetzt haben wir die Crossbill Times. Dann haben wir noch Ferris und Teresia hier unten. I've been appointed the new captain of the Academy's lacrosse club. As well, my name is a floral. I will do a stellar job in fulfilling the numerous duties that come with the title. Though perhaps bringing my rivalry with Elisa to its conclusion by the end of the month will take precedence for now. The Imperial Army will be establishing a major new air fleet soon, you know. So Emily and I are going to sign up. You can't imagine how well Father took the news, but we managed to talk him around to the idea. He's already fired up at the thought of being an officer like Captain Claire one day. Ja, Captain Claire ist ein guter Examen, die man sich, also ein gutes Idol, was man sich nehmen kann, nach dem man streben kann. So, ne. Rex and I sent in some of our war photos to the Imperial Chronicle, and they really loved them. We even received special recognition during the last feudal surprise ceremony. They in turn let a man named Norton to offer me a job at the Chronicle, which I graciously accepted. Sehr schön. I plan to use the position to spread the truth to as many people as possible. There appears to be an unused room. Ah, this was still called Research Society's room. Can't see any sign of Beryl either. Maybe the camp's been closed? Where's Beryl? Ja, für mich immer noch eigentlich noch das größte Enigma im ganzen Erebonia-Arc. So, bevor wir uns noch zu Tora gehen, ich glaube, ich mache das jetzt. Wo soll ich das jetzt machen? Instructor's Room. Hi, Lorraine. How goes your studying? I'd be more than happy to help if you're having any sort of trouble. Thanks for the offer, but I think I'll be alright. I've got Marcus and Emma's support system keeping me on the ball. If the offer extends to next year, though, I'm sure I will be taking you up on it then. By all means, nothing in this world makes me happier than lending a hand to students in need. Oh, and by the way, I pretty much finished decoding those black records you gave me. As much as it pains me, you can take them off my hands. You have? And there's some fascinating stuff in there, if I do say so myself. Sure to look them over if you have the time. Alright. But can you believe the academic year is so close to its end? I'd just love to see it off with a big old party, wouldn't you? Think you're onto something. Really curious about this report he just gave me. I have to look it over when I get back to the dorm. Kann ich mir das jetzt nicht? Nö, okay. Es wird ja echt noch auf den Dorf, darauf geschoben, dass ich erstmal ins Dorm zurück muss. Alright. Tor attending all of her work to the rest of the student council should be ending today, so I'm guessing she's still here. Guess everyone in there, but there's no response. Oh, I know. Excuse me, I'm coming in. Und sie schläft mal wieder. Yep, I knew it. No wonder she fell asleep. She must have been really busy getting everything sorted out for the spring. Makes me remember finding her like this in the computer room. Right, I probably shouldn't look too much or she will get mad when she wakes up. Die sind nicht in deinem Zimmer. Also.
生徒会室。そっか、寝ちゃってたんだ。
すみません。ノックはしたんですけど。
私が悪いんだし、気にしないで。ああ、もう、なんでリン君にはこんなところばっかり。また寝顔見られちゃったし。
なるべく見ないようにしましたから。
それならいいけど。あれ、リン君どうしたの？なんだか顔色が悪いような気がするけど。
いえ、なんでもないですよ。夕日のせいかな。体調は悪くないですし。
リン君、こっち。
え？
あのね、リン君は男の子だし、実際にこの1年で成長したと思う。もう男の子とは言えないかな。でもね、いつもずっと立ち続ける必要はないんだよ。疲れたら、気が抜けちゃったら我慢しないで座ってもいいと思う。大人だって、男の人だってね。
すみません。俺会長、すみません。俺、約束を守れなくって。クロウを連れ戻して先輩たちと卒業させるって。それなのに。
いいの、いいんだよ。リン君はちゃんと私たちの思いをクロウ君に届けてくれた。クロウ君の思いも私たちにちゃんと。だからね、そんなに悲しまないで。
Ist aber auch mies, dass halt auch genau das passiert, nachdem sie auch so schön gesagt haben. Wir sind es bisher gekommen, ohne jemanden zu verlieren. Und dann ein paar Minuten später und dann halt das. Ne? Oh, sorry, I didn't want to see me like that.
これでおあいこだね。私も何度もリン君に恥ずかしいところを見せちゃったし。
Have you finished getting everything ready for the next student council now, by the way?
これで私も晴れて生徒会長退任かな。次の子たちも優秀だから教えることもなかったんだけど。
So, it must have been hard work getting through it all. You're going on a tour of various NGOs after graduation, right?
政治、経済、技術、医療とかいくつかの分野があるんだけど、1年間は勉強させてもらうつもり。その後、軍か省庁に入るかはちょっとわからないけど。
Well, I'm pretty sure they'd both love to have you. There's no chance either one would say no to you. Especially since taking a year off hasn't made them any less determined to recruit you. After all you did with commanding the courageous, it's no wonder you're so in demand.
ただ必死だっただけなんだけど。でもこれからのことを考えるといろいろな視点は持っておきたいから。軍に入るにしても省庁に入るにしても自分の考えは持っておきたいんだ。何よりも帝国の未来のために。でちょっと大げさかな。
Well, not at all. After how much you've done for this academy, I can only imagine how much you could do for this country. Just try not to overwork yourself, okay? You review all the way, but you always worry, you know?
ありがとう。そういえばどうしたの？ 来てくれて嬉しいけど用事があったんでしょ？
Oh, I completely forgotten too. Just came to ask if there was anything I could do to help tomorrow, seeing that this is not a free day.
でもリーン君帰ったばかりだし、明日は君たちの。
So the more reason I want to spend tomorrow's free day the same way I spend all of the others. It didn't feel like our final free day as class 7 if we were any different.
そっか。分かったよ。いくつか心当たりもあるし、寮の郵便受けに入れておくから。よろしくお願いね。